everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for June 25th, 2020, Thursday, 3 p.m. Eastern. As I mentioned last night, we'll have a continuation call. Probably, I don't know how many calls there'll be to the series, but we will have another call Saturday at 6 p.m. Eastern on this line. So it'll be it's a TFCC, but it's a continuation of the material that I was sharing last night, and we'll continue to do those calls until we've literally completed all of the information delivered to everyone. And then we'll have I would say, continuing calls as far as next direction. So just a heads up for everybody. We also have a Tradera call tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern on the Tradera call line, which can be accessed from the website weareonelineforall.net. You ever, when you come across people and look at the people as mirrors, visualize that. So when you're out and about and or you're interacting with spouses or friends or acquaintances or even strangers, you are literally surrounded by mirrors. The mirrors are reflections of different aspects of ourselves. I know that sounds, to some people, it sounds a little strange, but it is actually exact. This is why sometimes we look at, we interface or interact with others and we become agitated or irritated. Okay? Now, there's a lot of issues that we don't face with ourselves. We claim we do to ourselves, but we don't. We just ignore it, and we carry it with us throughout the existence of the life that we're in currently. So what happens is that we carry that, so we don't address it. We don't surrender it and let go of it. We grip onto it, and we hold it tight. We fight tooth and nail to keep it throughout the existence of this life that we're in. But when you look, or when you see it from this different perspective, and you see that we are all mirrors, that you're surrounded by mirrors, that we all are. And it's not about judgment. It is about understanding. Is that when you see different aspects, and there's good things that communicate with you. Not everything is a reflection of you, but it draws your attention to know and learn from others how not to be. You see? And it's a really good thing. In the event that we are clear and understand this is not judgment, but it is a knowledge, a gaining of knowledge as we interact with each other. So it is, you get educated. A lot of us, we don't associate with that, so it passes us by. But if you were to look at it from a learning or experience to assist yourself in the travel in this life that you're currently in, it's a good thing, because you view others and you say, that is not how I want or desire to be. That's not how I choose to be. So when you do that, and you're reminded of this through your travels and interactions with others and yourself, that you begin to understand that we're not cocooned here. We are always interacting. As we know, our thoughts are constantly front and center. We know that we have thousands of them coming in all the time. And we only choose those to create into reality, the ones that we desire for ourselves, that we will enjoy something that is good. Now, the interfacing and interacting with people, when you come across something, you say, there's this, I don't care to ever be that way. That's a good thing, okay? And when you pick that up from others, you don't need to acknowledge it verbally. You can just say to yourself, I'm very grateful for that person, that individual, that has shown me how I choose not to be by showing how they are. Okay? Now, it doesn't make them bad. It doesn't make them any different than we are. It's just that it's a wonderful education and experience and learning for each of us. You imagine, without judgment, that we were to look at it that way, to perceive it that way. And we would literally gain that experience for ourselves as we travel and traverse this life that we're in currently, in the now. So you view others and not envy. See, here's where we make separations on the mirror, the reflections of ourselves. You realize that you're not judging, you're not being critical of others or yourself. You're just taking it in. And some of it you just don't care to because you've already traveled that. But on other ends, you realize is that this is something that reminds me how I choose not to be, how I choose not, I don't care to be this way. Now, when you're around others and you have, I'm sure we've all been through this, all experienced it in one way, shape, form, or another, where you become frictioned or irritated. The frequency that is being generated is unpleasant. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean it's unpleasant for those who are generating it that you pick up because they're oblivious to it. They're more into the mind and more into the third density on why they're not aware that that's happening with them. So if you ever, when you become distressed or irritated with others' frequencies, we're all frequency, we're all energy. So it's common sense to understand that some of us rub others the wrong way. It's a friction, an unpleasant frequency for those of us who experience, but it isn't so much for those who are emitting it. This is all about understanding. Do you honestly think that we're all here to not learn from each other? That none of us are an experience for each other? But that's not true. We are all experiences for everyone, each of us. Now, unfortunately, many don't care to engage or experience or learn or understand that. So here's an example. If you come across people that you believe are arrogant in a way, but yet they're very confident, but not ego-wise. They're just confident people. They aren't moved. They aren't concerned about what others view them as and what they say or what they do. They just are. They embrace themselves, and they love themselves for that. So they don't do it because they're angry. I think a lot of people say, boy, that guy's an arrogant SOB. And a lot of the times, they're emitting a confidence that irritates others because the others see their ability to have that confidence in themselves, but are in a conflict with themselves. It doesn't take a rocket scientist or a clinic full of psychoanalysts for us to understand ourselves. The reason that many of us don't understand ourselves is that we don't care to. We're too distracted. So the reflection, or, as far as being surrounded by mirrors or facets that possibly could be different facets of you, we're constantly in a learning process. For instance, I'll give you an example. Someone calls you and they give you information, and they're bright, cheery, and bubbly, and upward, and the energy is wonderful. It'll immediately lift you. It really will. No matter where you're at with yourself, it will lift you. It will change your attitude towards yourself and everything else. May not do it permanently for the course of the day, but it will lift you. And I know you've all experienced that. We all have. So when that happens, think about that. When you put yourself into, even if you're down, or even if you're irritated, angry, frustrated, stressed, worried, and you begin to, and you speak to others, you lift your voice, your frequency, in joy, in happiness, enthusiasm, you will affect change automatically. And that's one of the ways to understand how powerful we are. Now, if you talk with people and you're monotone and you're depressed and you're sad and your energy frequency is low, you're going to bring, yourself down, but others as well. They'll bring them down. It's all about frequency when we're communicating, interacting, and learning from one another. Okay? Now, a lot of us have different frequencies and energies. You have there's some women who have very little feminine energy. They have more masculine than they do feminine. There are women who have more feminine than masculine energy. I think people believe that well, if you're a woman, then you're supposed to, that's what you are. You're feminine, you're soft, you're kind. But that's not the case. So it's the same with men. Some men are masculine and other men are feminine. It doesn't mean that those men are of interest of the same sex. It just means that they have more feminine frequency and energy. So they present themselves that way. So it's interesting because there's always a mix and a match with our reflections and in relationships and associations. So when you begin to realize that if you are, let's say you're a guy and you're seeking a feminine woman, and the woman that you connect with is not feminine. Now, she doesn't know that, but you know that. You, being a man, pick that up. So this is why a lot of times in interaction there is created a friction, because the man finds himself trying to compete with the woman on masculinity. And it's not about ego, it's stubbornness and other things that are mixed in. So you begin to realize that these different experiences that we have, we stay away from judgment. It's really easy to judge, because we all do it. We judge ourselves, we judge each other, we judge just about everything. But we try to stay away from judging and take it as a sip of cool water, understanding is that this is another learning experience. This is, I know, I don't care to have or interact with. I don't care to interact with it on a full-time basis. And this is how you get to know yourself through others. You get to know yourself through others. And it helps you. Now, we all know a little bit about ourselves, obviously. We know what we like, we know what we don't like, for the most part. But we are constantly learning about ourselves. If you look at it from the perspective of, I'm learning from everybody. I'm experiencing with everybody. No matter if it's a second, or years, or days, or hours. We're always experiencing. If we choose to. Some of us would just ignore it and let it just pass by. But it's this is a finite understanding, is that we all assist each other. Whether we know it or not, we assist each other. We help each other. And we all know what it's like when you help someone and you're not interested on any kind of, what can I get? Or in relationships. A lot of the times relationships on this planet are not lifelong romantic relationships is because of the fact is that one or both parties are more interested on trying to figure out what they can get out of it rather than what they can give to it, without expectations and without attachments. And this has happened throughout the ages with mankind. It's just part of the missing step of understanding who and what we are. And usually it's because we have issues with ourselves as far as loving ourselves, as far as being confident without the ego mind, as far as being soft and gentle and giving. Those are all areas of learning that we either choose to learn in this life or we don't. And it doesn't make us bad if we don't. And it doesn't make us better if we do. It's just that our choice is lent in front of us, and we can pick and choose. Do you ask yourself, do I desire, do I want to go through this life I'm in and not learn from others? Now, you're a spectator, remember, so you take it in. Now, there's a lot of marriages out there on the planet that have difficulty because of this fact that, number one, there is a imbalance of masculine and feminine frequency or energy. It could be in the wrong place with the wrong one in the relationship. So it causes friction and irritation. So you really realize that you begin to understand is that what type of energy, frequency do I like being around? Okay? Now, when you're discomforted, it means you're learning. When you're discomforted from somebody, it means you're learning. What are you learning? You may be learning how not to be. See? They may display things where you look at it and not judge and say, there's no way I care to be that way. See? It's a reminder. It's a positive. It works really well for each of us if we choose to embrace it. So if you imagine, this sounds a little silly, but if you walked around and you had a mirror, okay, and you just carried the mirror and you were looking all around you, all right, and the mirror went both ways so it reflected others. So everywhere you walk, you're surrounded by pieces of yourself, reflections, and the reflections are different frequencies and different aspects of you. And some of them could be that you learn from others how not to be. And then you learn from others how to be. So this is how we assist each other on an ongoing basis, second to second. And that's why some people will come across people that they don't have to know them or anything. They're sad. It's like, I don't want that person. I don't want to be around them. Why is that? Is there something that discomforts you that you don't care to know about yourself? A lot of the times that's what it is. So you almost say, no, I'm going to hang around this person and see what it is. What is it that I am frictioned with, that I'm discomforted with? I don't care to be around them. You might be talking to somebody else. Do you like that person? Oh, yeah, they're a wonderful person. Wow, I just don't get that. I feel the opposite. You see, we don't understand a lot of it because it's emotion that comes in. And one of the things that we all have, all of us carry, is a stubbornness. It's an unwillingness to open up or to flex or to release. And because we're afraid to let go of that stubbornness because we feel that it will make us feel weak or vulnerable to any type of external influence from others, from other people. So what we do is we grab it tighter and tighter and tighter. And unfortunately, it's interesting, as these bodies age, we become even more stubborn. Isn't that interesting? When you think that we would be lightened and we would let go and go with the flow, it is amazing how many people think they go with the flow, but they don't. They do the opposite. So they verbalize that, and oh yeah, I go with the flow. I've embraced that a long time ago. I know all about that. But they don't do it. They don't go with the flow. they're fighting every step of the way. Most of the time, they're so stressed physically, tense. They're not relaxed, but they're almost fighting every step they take with themselves. They're in a battle, a war with themselves a lot of the times. So it really will end up playing havoc on the body eventually as the body begins to age more and more. So there's a lot of different reflections, different aspects of us that we see in others. And there's also different aspects that others teach us about ourselves. So it's really important that it's like when you get around someone who is in a residual bicameral existence, and you're trying to communicate with them, and it's like a deer in the headlights of a car. They're kind of like staring, and I'm sure a lot of you experienced it. You're going, are they listening to me? Doesn't seem like they're listening to me. I wonder if I should just stop talking or sharing this with them. And then you interject and say, what do you think about that? So you try not to say too much, but then you reflect back, what do you think about that? How do you feel about that? That kind of, lets you know by experiencing what their response is. Because I've said this before, there's going to be a lot of people who fought with themselves and thought that, New Age and tree huggers and, people that seemed milk-soppy and weak and strange were just weirdos. And then they began to start to realize that, these people knew what they were talking about. They were experiencing and understanding who and what they were and are. And I've got to get with people that are like that, so I can learn about me and learn about what's actually happening and going on. And it's interesting, people will wake up. They wake up. They become aware of things. Okay, something is a primer. Something excites them to break loose of the bicameral existence. Now they think they're broken loose, but they really aren't, because after a few years, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, they believe that they are in this that they know a lot now, that they've experienced a lot. Then there's others who their whole lives they've been experiencing, and they don't look at it from that viewpoint. They look at it from the viewpoint of saying, man, I'm still learning. I'm like a sponge. So I'm a student of my own experiences. Okay? You being a student of your own experiences. What are the experiences? The experiences teach you. You learn from them. You learn from everybody around you. Those are experiences that teach you. So your experiences are the master, and you are the student. So as you experience in life, even the simplest things to some of us are still experiences. And as we walk and talk and breathe, and as we view and hear, we experience, and that's the master teaching the student. So as we go through this life, we're constantly experiencing. Therefore, the master is teaching us nonstop. And it's the same with when we come in contact with others. They're the teacher. They're the ones teaching us, and it doesn't matter who they are. It doesn't matter where they are themselves on their own development and understanding of who and what they are. It just means that everyone is teaching. It's kind of interesting. And not many people look at it that way because of the ego is so rampant and in the way, it blocks us so much and twists things. But when you realize the fact that Everybody's a teacher. Children are teachers. We're the student. And we're the teachers to some, and they're the students. So you see how this entire civilization is actually a massive number of teachers. Now, unfortunately, many don't even view it that way or acknowledge it because they don't identify with that. They just kind of look at people. When you see someone doing something, they're teaching you. Think about that. When you learn, okay? So we never know everything. So we're always learning, and we're always experiencing, and which means we're always perfecting. So when we interact with others, someone takes you down, and takes advantage of you, and you have situations happen in your life, but they're teaching you. Each experience is a class that you take in this life that you exist in. Each experience that comes your way, that you create for yourself, and mostly unknowingly so, you become more knowledgeable. I remember, I've experienced this before, so I know that I'm not going to do it again because it wasn't pleasant the first time, and understanding all the parameters and everything that were experiences, and they become our bridge into the unknown. Each piece of experience is the footing that we step on. It keeps us river of void, and the bridge is our experiences that we hammer into place so that we have a strong bridge across the river of void into the land of the unknown. And we're always teetering into the land of the unknown, and where all the opportunities, possibilities, like I've said before, are. Most of us won't go there because our confidence with ourselves or our heart mind just isn't strong enough. So we begin to realize that every single thing, animal, tree, rock, everything is teaching us. We're experiencing. So this meditation, we are all the teachers, all of us, and the students. So we are the teachers and we are the students. So if you will, go to the place where you're not going to be interrupted, and I'm sure we all are. And the first thing that we desire to do is relax our bodies. Now, our bodies, they listen to us. Unfortunately, a lot of times we don't listen to them. But it's like if the body listens to you and you listen to your body, then you're able to affect whatever you need naturally to aid and assist your body. So you say, body, let's relax. Let's drop the shoulders. Let's just release, surrender all of the things that we have attracted in the last 24 hours. Let's just let them all go and fall off this. And let's just go into a complete relaxed state. It's like when I use the analogy of the hammock. You're lying in the hammock. You're in between two beautiful trees. There's a light summer breeze, not too hot, not too cold, and the leaves are fluttering. You're kind of in this zone, this void, where you don't care to move. You're not blinking your eyes aren't open. And for some reason, you're just there. You can hear noises, some sounds, but they're far away. They don't affect you. And your breathing is light, yet good. And you're just being. You aren't thinking. You're not, entertaining thoughts. You're not entertaining the ego. You're just being. And you're completely relaxed. And you don't care to do anything or even make one movement. You're just there. That's relaxing the body. That's relaxing ourselves inside and out. So when we go into that state, many of you fall asleep. That's a good thing. Because you're literally alleviating that stress and that anxiety and all of those thoughts that keep banging on you. And you literally have gone into a void where there isn't anything like that, where the mind is stilled. All that noise is gone. So as we relax the body, we move into the now. And what is the now? It's all we have. It's moment to moment. It's what we concentrate on. Moment to moment. Now, some of us go into the past and we reflect and reminisce in the past. And sometimes we will get so enamored with the past that we'll bring it into a future that doesn't exist, and we'll create a future from the past, relive the past and that future. This is why so many of us will say, sometimes it feels like I've just been running in circles my whole life. That's why. It doesn't make people bad to do that. It's just highly favorable to not do it, to focus on the now. In the now, we still the mind. We still the ego mind. We still the subconscious mind. We still all that noise, all those thoughts dictating to our emotions through the ego mind. So we still all that. And we want to breathe. We want to breath in through our nose, nice and easy, relaxed breath, and then breath out through our mouths. Now, breathing in through our nose, we're breathing in divine positive energy. This is very high frequency of deep eternal love, gratitude, bliss, peace, joy. And visualize it for a moment. You're in a very comfortable position. Your body is relaxed. You're in the now, the moment to moment, the space between heartbeats. And you pull this breath in, this divine positive energy. And we start with the red wheel of light, your root chakra, the Muladhara. Energy, stability, comfort, safety, I am. So we bring this divine positive energy, the root chakra, the red wheel of light, to the orange wheel of light, the sacral chakra, the Vajrasthana, and this sexuality, pleasure, sociability, I feel. And then we move it up to the yellow wheel of light, the solar plexus chakra, the Manipura, the strength, personality, power, determination, I do. And we move into the green wheel of light, the heart chakra, the Anahata, acceptance, love, compassion, sincerity, I love. And we move into the blue wheel of light, the throat chakra, the Vishuddha, communication, expression, creativity, inspiration, I talk. And we move into the violet wheel of light, the third eye chakra, the Ajna, intuition, lucidity, meditation, trust, I see. Finally, we bring it up through the crown chakra, the purple wheel of light, the Sahasrara, knowledge, consciousness, fulfillment, spirituality, I understand. Now, we bring this all the way up through all the wheels of light. These chakras, these wheels of light, connect us to the spiritual, to the physical, to the physical, to the spiritual. It is our energetic essence. These are the 7 main chakras. So we pull it right to the back of our heads. We briefly hold it. I am light, I am love, I am. And in that brief moment, we compress and condense it into pure liquid energy. Very powerful. And then we lovingly release it over the pineal gland. Now, the pineal gland is very important to us while we're in these bodies. It is the gateway to all the particles of existence. It is the gateway to pure consciousness. And it is the gateway to beyond. Now, obviously, the pineal gland in these bodies of ours has been compromised many times. It is not fully functioning. And it needs our assistance and our love. See, this is what we do to revitalize it and make it whole again. And by releasing this pure liquid frequency, this energy over it, you picture a rose bud, which is a green ball. It doesn't really look like much at all. And it's small. And when we release this liquid energy over the pineal gland, it blooms like a rose, full bloom, vibrant, eternal, immortal. So it stays vibrant, fragrant, beautiful, lush, healthy. And that's what we're doing with the pineal gland through this visualization, through our 7 wheels of light, our 7 chakras, through the center of our bodies, connecting us to the spiritual plane. Now, you do this as many times as you care to. It is important. Now, we all know that we're merged. Be able to say this, we know that we are. So it is, so it shall be. We're merged with the God, the kingdom of God within us, pure consciousness. We're also merged with the heart mind. And we're also merged with the body. So we are one. We are paradise. We are heaven on earth. And we are all the things that so many of us seek outside of ourselves within. We're all consciously aware that we are the highest, deepest, eternal love from the highest, deepest, eternal love and the highest and deepest, eternal gratitude. Now we have others that are with us right now. We have the archangels, the cherubim, the seraphim, and the archetypes. There's trillions of them, and their civilization vibrates at a different frequency than we do. And they've been assisting us for a very long time, as we have them. Because we're all one, we're just different facets, different pieces of experience. So sometimes they'll appear in humanoid form to give us a message. Now, thousands of them can surround any one of us at any one time. The reason that is because of their frequency, they can inhabit a small space in large number. They are consciously aware that they are the highest, deepest, eternal love from the highest, deepest, eternal love and the highest, deepest, eternal gratitude. We could not participate in this gathering, in this meditation, in this now, if our frequencies were low. Wouldn't be possible. Now, the Ascended Masters, who are consciously aware that they're the highest, deepest, eternal love from the highest, deepest, eternal love and the highest, deepest, eternal gratitude. Kuan Yin, Maitreya, Buddha, Lakshmi, Ganesh, Saint Germain, Sananda, Jesus, El Morya, Abundancia, Gaia, Pel, Thoth, many, many, many more. They are those who have ascended out of body, and they hold the spirit, the God form, the pure consciousness. They're always assisting us. We are God form who have ascended into physical form to experience the physical form. We are constantly expanding and experiencing and perfecting as they are too. It never ends. So they've been assisting us a long time. We've been assisting them. So we have our 3 groups. who have come together, and we are all seeking as many parts of the one of source creation as possible, who are consciously aware. So we reach out to all of light energy beings and all that there is, ever has been, ever, beyond, and forever. And only those who are consciously aware that they are of the highest, deepest eternal love from the highest, deepest eternal love and the highest and deepest eternal gratitude can be with us in this gathering, in this now, in this meditation, in this forming of the circle of light. Now, they come in the googolplexes. And one googolplex fills this universe. They come in trillions of googolplexes from every direction. So then we call out to all of the inhabitants of inner earth, hollow earth, beneath earth, Agartha. Many, many, many civilizations and species. Only those who are consciously aware that they are the highest, deepest eternal love from the highest, deepest eternal love and the highest and deepest eternal gratitude can be with us in this now, in this meditation, in this gathering and forming of the circle of light. And they come in the billions. Now, we also call upon all the off-worlders, all the galactics. We're familiar with a fraction of them. There's over 1,000 civilizations and species that travel through this part of the galaxy, in this quadrant, in this solar system, every day. We know some. We know the Pleiadians, the Sirians, Andromedans, Arcturians, the Zeta Reticuli, the Draco, the Reptilians, the Greys, the Nords, the Avians, the Golden Pyramids. There's a lot. And only those who are consciously aware that they are the highest, deepest eternal love from the highest, deepest eternal love and the highest and deepest eternal gratitude will be with us in this now, this gathering, this meditation, and this forming of the circle of light. They come in the billions. They have been assisting us in our evolution, in our enlightenment, in our ascension, freeing ourselves from our own self-imposed bondage and our own self-imposed slavery. And we also call upon all of our loved ones, all those who have ascended out of body in this lifetime and all lifetimes that we've inhabited. Only those who are consciously aware that they are the highest, deepest eternal love from the highest, deepest eternal love and the highest and deepest eternal gratitude can be with us, join us in this now, this meditation, and forming the circle of light in this gathering. And they come in the billions. Now, we call upon all the light energy beings who have decided to be housed in the following forms on and above and below this planet Earth, Gaia, Arya, in this now, in this meditation, this gathering, this forming the circle of light. Only those who are consciously aware that they are the highest, deepest eternal love from the highest, deepest eternal love and the highest and deepest eternal gratitude can be with us in this now, in this meditation, in the circle of light. Now they come in the trillions. And they come in shapes, colors, sizes, forms, configurations of which many we have never seen before. And just to name a fraction of them, the fairies, the sprites, the elves, the gnomes, the dwarves, the trolls, the trees, the elementals, earth, air, water, fire, ether, the mermaid, the dolphin, the whale, the pegasus, the unicorn, the centaur, and the minotaur. And like I said, they've come in the trillions. We're all gathered, arm in arm, hand in hand, and we all join. We immediately form a brilliant, radiant circle of white light, God-light energy, pure consciousness, deep eternal love, of which we're made up, and gratitude. Now, this circle is so brilliant and bright, it would take at least 1 billion of the suns in the solar system to compare to the light. Now, all of our gods are together. We're all consciously aware. We are in full compassion, non-judgment, non-ego, non-negativity, stillness of mind. Gentleness, kindness, generosity, humbleness. Bliss, joy, peace, tranquility, and benevolence. And we are all the one. We are all the love. And we are all the God. Your consciousness. And our God-light energy is in all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. And it continues to intensify, and it continues to expand. And we all begin to ascend, move up above the planet. As we do this, we're met with a gossamer field that is filled with trillions of sparkle, glitter, reflections of a multitude, trillions of different vibrant colors. And we're literally met with the emerald green flaming healing light of Archangel Raphael, which is a column to remind us that we are the power of healing. Then we are met with the violet, blue, purple flaming light of Archangel Michael. This is a column to remind us of our power, our strength, and our resolve. And we're also met with the white fire. This column reminds us that we are imbued with this armor, head to toe, inside and out. This armor is God armor, pure consciousness, deep eternal love and gratitude. It is because we maintain a high state of vibrational frequency of deep eternal love. Now, nothing can penetrate this at all. No lower matter frequency can penetrate it. Not even close. It'll vaporize before it even gets close. But only you, each of us, can decide if we lower that white fire armor enough through anger, judgment, fear, revenge, manipulation, greed, deception. We will weaken its field enough where those lower vibrational frequencies will come flooding in. Now, we do this. We are also met with the purple transmuting flame. This column reminds us that if we do this with ourselves, we can call in the purple transmuting flame. It will transmute all of these frequencies, these low dark matter frequencies, into neutralized substance. We will whisk them back to pure consciousness where they become no more. And we're also met with the violet ray. This column reminds us that we can bring the violet ray in right behind the purple transmuting flame, and then we can cleanse and purify the area that these lower dark matter frequencies were, thus restore our white fire God armor back into love, deep eternal love, gratitude. Now we're also met with golden white pink light. This column reminds us of what we are. Love. Deep eternal love of what we're made of. It is the most powerful, strongest frequency. And that's what we're made of. And that's why we're able to maintain the white fire armor. You see it in sunsets, you see it in sunrises, you see it in rainbows, you see it in different reflections. It's everywhere to continue to remind you of the love that you are. Now, some of us who are carrying physical forms step outside our physical bodies and we effortlessly float above our bodies. Now, as we do this, we continually ascend. Then we come in contact with this massive column that we created. It's larger than this solar system. Now, we designed this column as we view it, it's a gossamer column, and it's kind of opaque, and it has trillions of these aura. It's kind of emitting an aura like we do. And it's beautiful, vibrant colors, rainbow colors, every color you can imagine and then some. And then we move to the top of it, and we see this cascading all the way around it, down, a golden ocean. It's just beautiful, shimmering, smooth, sparkling. It's total peace. It is deep, eternal love. It is just wonderful frequency. And it's literally flooding, bathing, and saturating everything in everything. Now, each of us are drops of that golden ocean, and each of us carry the essence of that ocean, the deep eternal love. Now, we also move a little bit over, and we see our meditative sphere. It's that center circle. We all created this sphere well over 2 years ago. It holds all of our meditations in perpetual motion. We are moving towards 900 meditations in perpetual motion, all deep eternal love, all in deep gratitude, all in gentleness, kindness, generosity, humbleness, bliss, joy, peace, tranquility, and benevolence. It's massive. And it continues to intensify, and it continues to expand. This is why it can be seen, heard, and felt, and all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever, beyond, and forever. This is why our God-light energy is everywhere, and it continues to intensify and expand. We're being bathed all the time. We're literally being reminded as if we held a mirror to our face, and we said, "You are the love. You are the God. You are the joy. You are the bliss. You're the gentleness. You're the kindness. You're the generosity and the humbleness. You're tranquility. You're the benevolence." And imagine that mirror, a reflection so that you could see who and what you are, that you are the love. And as reflections that we all are of each other, we are all teachers and we are all students with each other. Always. We learn, we move on. We learn, we move on. We learn, we move on. We teach, we learn. We teach, we learn. It is constant. It doesn't end. It is absolutely magnificent. So we are the teachers and the students with each other. And we have all this love that we are, all this joy, all this happiness, all this bliss, and it's coming from within us, through our heart minds, through the gods, the pure consciousness that we are. It is our natural state of being. And this entire planet, and all of our brothers and sisters who are still asleep, are beginning to realize, one step at a time, that they are the love. They are the joy. They are the gratitude. And we are all of the highest, the deepest, deepest, deepest eternal gratitude. And we are all of the highest, the deepest, deepest, deepest eternal love. And we're in this state because we choose to be. We acknowledge who we are, the love that we are. And we are all one. And we are all the God. And we are all the love. joining the meditation, and I'll return to close us out. Take an easy breath in. An easy breath out. Move slowly. See your reflection as well as everyone else's. We're all students, and we're all teachers. Carry this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening, into the night, into the following morning. We'll be back here Friday, June 26, 2020, to continue our global guided meditation call.